Welcome to another video. So it's another week and it's the first week in a few that it feels like I'm back in my normal routine, i.e. I'm in my bedroom, I'm not away, I'm not planning to go away for a very long time, I don't think. Update on my swollen glands that were pretty bad yesterday. They're not any worse today, they may even be slightly better, so I'm thinking, hoping, touch wood, that I'm not coming down with anything and it was just post-exertional malaise. I've never had that before. But there's a first time for everything, especially with Lyme. When I got back from my gran's on Thursday, there was some exciting packages waiting for me. But it actually took me a few days to open them all because I had so much extra fatigue from the journey. But I have done now, and I really want to show you what's in them because I think it's very exciting. I got a signed copy of Notes on a Nervous Planet by Matt Haig. This is kind of the follow-up, I guess, to Reasons to Stay Alive that came out a few years ago. You know how sometimes you find a book that you just want to recommend to everyone, or you will buy for everyone if you're in need of a present? Well, Reasons to Stay Alive is that book for me. I've bought so many copies for friends I can't even tell you. So I was really excited to get the follow-up. I haven't started reading it yet because I'm still trying to make my way through some of the books I'm reading. I know I said in the last video that it was my goal for the holiday to finish a couple of the books I've been reading for what feels like ever. I didn't manage to do that, but I am so close, so I'm waiting until I finish at least one of them before I start this one, hopefully very soon. The second package was from Amazon, and this was the one that was supposed to arrive before I left for the Lake District, and then it got lost and Amazon had to send it out again, so obviously it arrived after I'd left. Finally it's here, and one of the things in it is a handheld electric fan. If you didn't know, the UK has been experiencing a serious heat wave the last few weeks, or even a month or two actually now. It's been crazy. So I have a big fan that sits on my chest of drawers over there, but this one I can carry around with me. I can just blast it in my face or on the back of my neck if I need to, and it's actually surprisingly powerful. I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to hear what I'm saying now, is there? But it's really good. I'm very happy with it, and I'm very glad it's here, even if it's like 3 weeks later than planned. The third thing is, I think, possibly the thing I'm most excited about, and it is wireless headphones. I am so excited to have these. I've been testing them out over the last couple of days and they're so good. They're the Bose ones, but they're not the sound cancelling ones because they were like £250, over that I think. I've wanted some for ages, and it's just going to take listening to audiobooks and podcasts, which I do a lot of, to a whole new level. And I've been using them pretty consistently over the last few days, and I haven't had to charge them up yet. The battery's still on, I think, like 60%, so it's really good. Getting dark in here, I'm going to turn the light on. See, now I was going to start with a lighting like this, but then I thought that looked worse, but now I'm thinking maybe it looks better. I don't know. You let me know. I'm going to go to bed and hope that my glands don't get any worse tomorrow, because I've got to have a shower and wash my hair because I've got an appointment on Wednesday, which I'll tell you about nearer the time. Today is quite a busy day. This afternoon I'm meeting my therapist face to face for the first time, and this was something that was supposed to happen a few weeks ago, but circumstances meant that wasn't possible, so it's been rearranged for today instead. I'm going to be honest, I'm not feeling very well at all. Having a really bad POTS day. Had one of my shaky episodes that I think I'm going to call something like POTS crises or something, because they are very clearly to do with my POTS, and weird shaky episodes, although it describes them pretty accurately. Sounds kind of strange, but you know what I mean when I say that. Had one of them this morning, have not really recovered yet, and it's almost time to have lunch and then leave, so I'm not quite sure how the session's going to go, but I really want to go. I really want to do it. I really do want to meet her and see what happens when we have face-to-face sessions, see if they're greatly different. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be a little bit different, but I'm interested to see how they're going to be different. So that's what's happening this afternoon, and then this morning, in about 5 minutes actually, I'm having a phone appointment with my GP surgery to try and sort out the issues with my prescription. A couple of videos ago, just before I went away, they denied my repeat prescriptions and it caused me a lot of stress. And they said before they would issue me them again, I had to have a phone appointment, like a med review, to talk about, well, I don't know, but I'm going to find out in 5 minutes. well, it's not going to be 5 minutes, is it? It's going to be like half an hour because they're always running late. But I'm going to find out today. Because they're always late, you're never quite sure when they're going to ring. So you're always kind of on tenterhooks and you're always worried you're going to miss it. Or at least I am anyway. So it always causes me a lot of anxiety, and I'm sure that's not helping my pots today. So I'm staying as horizontal as possible until I have to leave for my appointment this afternoon, and just hope that I can cope with everything, basically. Wow, they really left it to the last minute to call. It's now like 3 minutes before I have to leave for my therapy appointment. The appointment was all right, although it did stress me out a little bit because she kept talking about how I shouldn't be taking some of the medications I'm taking long term, and it's just not a good idea, basically, and it's not left me in the best mood or the best frame of mind, but luckily I'm going to therapy, so that's perfect. Hopefully the face-to-face appointment goes well. I think it's going to be a good thing. I'm back home now. It's actually much later. It's just gone 8 p.m. in the evening. I pretty much crashed out when I got back. As I said, I was feeling pretty bad anyway, and the anxiety of the appointment, not knowing whether they were going to ring or not, and then having to leave immediately after that, and then obviously the therapy appointment itself took so much out of me. I feel as tired now as I did after the journey back from the Lake District, which I know sounds a bit crazy, but I honestly do. So I have no idea what the rest of the week is going to be like in terms of post-exertional malaise. Hopefully if I sleep well tonight, it'll be okay. Well, I'm not feeling great today, but I'm not feeling as bad as I was expecting, so that's really good. Today is, I think, maybe my least favourite day of the entire week, and that's B12 injection day. It's not the actual injections that I dread so much, it's the getting the B12 out of the bottle and into the syringe. It's become a bit of a battle, I guess is the right word. As I mentioned in the video when I first did it, I don't have the greatest dexterity in my hands, and sitting up for long periods of time obviously very difficult for me, and concentrating for long periods of time very difficult for me. So it's just very difficult for me to do it properly, to do it well, and I end up getting really tired and really frustrated and really hot, and yeah, just not enjoying it basically. I'm doing it in my bedroom this time, in the hope that not sitting up might make it a bit easier, in the fact that I won't get tired as quickly. It is going to increase the chance that I'm going to spill it everywhere. I'll just have to be really, really careful. Well, getting the B12 into the syringe and doing the injection today wasn't as bad as I was expecting. It's kind of become a bit of a thing in my mind that it's going to be really difficult and it's going to be horrible, and then the injection's going to make me pass out, because it did that one time. But today that didn't happen. So hopefully eventually my brain will stop thinking in that negative way. I think it definitely helped doing it in my bed. It allowed me to rest more because my legs were horizontal. I wasn't sitting up in a chair. That's the really difficult part for me. As well as that, this afternoon itself hasn't been as bad as I was expecting, or as bad as the morning was fatigue-wise. Maybe that was the B12 injection, who knows? I'm going to have a bit of a self-care evening. I'm going to do a sheet mask, and I'm going to read some of my book. The book that I was planning on finishing whilst I was on holiday, but that didn't happen. So I really, really, really want to try and finish it soon. So hopefully I can get through a few more pages tonight. I know that you probably can't hear me that well. It's because I've got the fan on full blast. But I can't turn it off because it's just so hot today that I would boil alive, and nobody wants to see that. I've been in a bit of a weird mood today. I've just been feeling really overwhelmed with everything I have to do. I just feel like I've got so many plates spinning in the air and I'm struggling to keep hold of them all. No, actually, I don't feel like I've got loads of plates spinning in the air. I feel like I've got 2 or 3 at the most, but then there's like 5 or 6 behind me that I really need to get going, and I just can't because I'm constantly focusing on the 3 I've got. Does that make any sense? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to have an ice lolly now, and then I'm going to do my B12 injection. This is what I keep my second syringe in. I put it in a toothbrush holder. I'm pretty proud of that idea. Gonna go and have my ice lolly because that will make me feel a little bit better physically, because it will cool me down, and hopefully that will enable me to do my injection. Well, I did manage to do my B12 injection, and I always seem to feel better after I do them, but that effect doesn't seem to last very long, or at least it peters off quite quickly. I feel really good for the rest of the day after I do the injection, and the next day I just kind of go back to normal. But maybe it is slightly better than my normal before I started the injections, but it's not as good as I feel the rest of the day after I do it. The answer to that is do the injection in the morning, isn't it? But then I never feel well enough to do it in the morning. That's a problem for next week. Today is Sunday, which means it's the end of another video. this week hasn't been that good. Physically, it's not been too bad, but mentally, as I spoke about a bit earlier, I've just been feeling so overwhelmed with everything. So much so that I've actually scheduled another therapy session for next Wednesday. So I'll have had a session 2 weeks in a row. The whole holiday experience was quite tough on me mentally, and then coming back and having to deal with all the rigmaroles of chronic illness, calling doctors, rearranging appointments, stuff like that has been hard on me. Definitely glad I've got that extra session next week. Physically, as I said though, it has been okay, despite the intense heat, which is still hanging around in the UK and shows no sign of going away. So hopefully my body will continue to manage it pretty well. I think that's everything. I'm gonna go to bed. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!